Everyone, this is a Viper Professional Training and Support webinar. Today's date is October 24th, 2022. This is the Monday night webinar, and the title of tonight's webinar is Drill Time, Stair Step Midband and Phantom Trades with Object Trader Assist. And as everyone knows, has been to our webinars or our live trading room, everything that we say and do at Viper Trading Systems is for educational purposes only. Futures trading, Forex trading, any kind of financial instruments trading involves risk. Therefore, there's always risk of loss. You should only trade discretionary capital, and that is money that you can afford to lose. Nothing said in this webinar. Other webinars we have, our live trading room or anything else with Viper Trading Systems should never be construed as trading or investment advice. And as always, everyone does trade at their own sole discretion. Any questions on the disclaimer? All right, if not, we're going to go ahead and get started. Bear with me just a second, because what I want to show you tonight, I'm going to do it kind of in a way that you're not going to see the prices on the chart, because what I want to show you is how important it is for the stair stepping, extremely important. Remember, I gave that assignment, stair step, stair step, stair step. You've got to stair step before you're going to get in that trade, okay? Now, it doesn't mean you can't take the little breakouts and things. See, I see resistance over here, for instance, and I'll bet you more than likely if it broke that, and it obviously did because we can see in hindsight, but see where that broke through that resistance, more than likely that was a decent trade too. So, but anyway, what I'm talking about with assist is what you're going to really want to do is you're going to take the breakout trades obviously too, and there may have even been one here. We'll have to look at the actual scripts and see. More than likely there was one right in through here. But the whole idea of getting in these is this thrust and this retrace, this thrust and this retrace. Okay, because let's see, are you referring to old support as new resistance? Yes. Yes, well, this is called Lightning 3, Mike, on your question there. So let me show you how it actually draws on your chart. See, if I draw Lightning 3 from up here, see it draws all the way. See, there was your support, resistance, and then, broke support through here, broke resistance right through here. So we take those trades a lot as far as that goes, okay? More than likely, we'd even get into it down in here somewhere. But what I want to teach tonight, though, is how you can simply, let's say that you saw this thing just going down all night and you thought, doggone, I missed a good run. Well, if you get up in the morning and you see this happening, just turn on the opposite direction because it'll happen. There's very seldom ever that they don't retrace enough to give you a good move back to the upside. And that's exactly what happened right through here. See it? So that's what I was saying in the room this morning even. Remember with ES, they had a short mid-band, and I just simply said, turn on the mid-band long. And pretty soon you got that mid-band long, and it was a monster. Same thing with this one here. If we would have had the room open here and I would have said, hey, we've been heading down a long time, turn on your long. It doesn't fire a long until it gets the retrace. This one would have probably fired right in through here, more than likely. It doesn't look like it would have ever hit here. Can the auto draw themselves live? You're talking about the swings here, Jay, on your question? You mean the swings or the mid-band type trades? I'll wait for you to do that, but I'll go ahead and go on though. I'll get your answer. Yes, lightning. Well, lightning draws in real time, but keep in mind that for it to draw in real time, it's got to get a thrust and a pullback. Like let's say, for instance, if you put Lightning 2 on this chart, this is more your 4-range bars right here. See how that draws like that? Well, this is actually drawing from here to here to here because there's a lot of 4-range bars that are drawing in that area right there. So in real time, would you see that dot? No, but you'd see this one. See, because it's already thrusted up. So you've always got a reference on your chart of where to keep your stop, or even if they decide to break down and head the other way. Okay, that's a very good question though. Right, let me get rid of the Lightning 2. Okay, so what we're looking for in stair stepping and midband and phantom with assist is simply We're going to take the breakouts, obviously, but assist is not going to do that for you. I'll call those in the room live. Okay. But the trade that's going to make you a lot of money is going to be that trade right there, because that's first time in the mid-band after a trend change. I can tell by looking at it because it never came down to mid-band here. And I'm going to go over exactly how to tell when these trades are setting up. Here's even another one right here. See it? So there's a mid-band trade, a high, a low, a higher high. So you're looking for another one, right? And you get that trade. See? And could you look for another one even again? Well, it ratcheted up. So you look for another one and it went up again too. Okay. So that's what you're looking for, is these sweet trades right here. We've taught these for 13 years of how to get these trades right here. And now I've built a little trader that'll do it. Okay. But again, the secret to it is the stair stepping. It's got to stair step. You don't want a flat line. You know, for instance, if this was just a turn barely green like that, that could easily roll over, because see your swing on the left here in the red. To me, until it breaks that swing there, you're not really heading up. And see, it broke it right through there. And could you take that trade long there, like that little box? Yes. Okay. But what I'm going to teach tonight, though, is these little trades right here. Because if you can get in any given morning this trade, and this trade, you're done. I mean, you did monster trading. And that's exactly what we did this morning in the room with oil. You know, we got a little short out of the gate. Remember, I had a phantom trade on, but I also drew a line on the chart. That was your line in the sand long short, and it went long. We grabbed that. People that missed it, I called the mid-band trade. And the mid-band trader will take these. Okay. So again, the key to it, and you got to just hammer this into your muscle memory, is the stair stepping part of it. Because if it's not stair stepping, you don't want to keep getting those trades. The new trader, Jim, I was going to talk about that a little bit tonight, because we've run into a little bit of a standstill on going forward with what I wanted, because we found out today that even Chart Trader doesn't really do reverses very well. In other words, if you had, say, 2 contracts on and this was to reverse and you put 4 underneath it, it doesn't necessarily fire that in that order, because I've had that before where I had like 3 on and reversed something, and then I've all of a sudden had 8 going the same direction I was going. So it's not a good idea to do that. So we may take that out. You'll still be able to scale and things like that, but I'll show that tonight, as a matter of fact. Just remind me about 10 minutes before we close the webinar. Okay, so let's go now to where, let's say a lot of you do get up, and that's about, say, 7 o'clock in the morning. Now, looking at this chart, what is the direction of the trend? Anybody? What should we be looking for on this chart? Should we be looking for a long, or should we be looking for a mid-band or a phantom short? Now, our scripts actually change directions when they prove themselves. See this high here, this low here, this higher high? Well, this was broken right through here. All right. And then our scripts actually go, red background, magenta mid-band, because it's breaking these swings and all that. So this is actually telling you that unless this decides just to break up and go, that more than likely you're going to get a trade. Matter of fact, it's already happened. It looks like right in this area here and even this area here. This is called a phantom trade. Okay. Now, what I want to teach everybody tonight also is, where does the object trader assist take these trades? It's very important, because you'll be able to see it before it ever fires. That's why in the room you hear me saying, you know, mid-band trade setting up, mid-band trade. Well, that's because I'm seeing those bars doing exactly what I taught them to do when we programmed the script. Okay, so let's go over a little bit of it first. All right. And matter of fact, let me just change directions, and I'm going to show you the actual chart so that we'll clearly be able to see it. And this will be old hat to some of you, but keep in mind, not everybody else is at your level yet, and you weren't at that level before either. So, everybody needs to learn. Okay, so right here on this chart, okay, this chart right here, basically what our mid-band trader is going to do, okay, this is called, basically for years we called this the money band. This little yellow area right here, we called that the money band. The reason for that is because that's line 5, this is line 3, and this little sweet area is where trades set up, okay? And if they don't set up here, they're going to set up here instead. So if you get under line 3, you're more than likely going to get a phantom, okay? Now, let me go over this so that some very new people are here tonight too. The way we numbered our lines is this is line 0 right here, the bottom of the pink shadow, the magenta shadow, okay? When I talk about like a line 1 trade, I'm talking about this line right here, okay? When I'm talking about a line 2 trade, I'm talking about this line right here. Let's see, does it matter which dot pivot you start your lightning at? No, you can start it anywhere, okay? Then you have line 3 at the bottom of the shadow. Line 4 is always the mid-band between here and here. Because we start at line 0, we end at line 8. So the mid-band is right smack dab in the middle of all that. That's why it's called the mid-band. So that's line 4. This is line 5. This is line 6, the green line. Line 7 is the shadowed area of the green, and line 8 is the top of the green. So 0 through 8. All right. So mid-band trades, the way they fire with our auto trader is simply they have to come 2 ticks inside the money band. And even the same way on the short, by the way. If it had a, now keep in mind the background and the color of the mid-band is very, very important because this is a stair-stepping long mid-band, so we're not looking for shorts. Okay, now if we break a long short line, I'll call the trade in the room, but the trader won't take that one. Okay, so this little trader is looking simply at 2 ticks inside line 3, pardon me, line 5 on a long. This is line 3, that's line 5. So if it gets anywhere within 4 ticks of this mid band, this is going to fire the trade if the bar closes up. Okay, so that bar closed up, right? That bar closed down, that bar closed up, or that might be down. Let's look. And then this bar closed up. Let's check it. Mid-band long. Okay, so you had that bar and that bar and that bar and that bar and that bar. So basically, your trade fired 2 ticks inside the mid-band area, in the money band. This is actually the mid-band, and this is the mid-line, so to speak. This is what we call the mid-band because it's actually a line that's in the middle. So this will fire on anywhere inside 2 ticks inside line 5 on a long, and I'll go over the short in just a little bit, okay? Let's don't get it confused. So 2 ticks inside, it'll fire if the bar goes up. So that would fire a contract here. It'll also fire if it gets even, as long as it's above line 3 and it fires long, in other words, up, it will also fire. That's why that candle fired. That's also the same criteria. This one is in that line 3 to line 5, so it fires long. This one dipped 2 ticks into line 5, so that fired also. This one dipped 2 ticks in and fired up, so that one fired also. So now the key to it is how many contracts do you want? Okay, with CL, I'd highly recommend not more than 2 or 3. So in other words, if you were to fire these trades right here, 1, 2, 3 contracts, that would probably be enough. Okay, and then put your stop like at line 3. The stop will automatically go to line 1. Okay, that's more of a catastrophic stop so that you can make the decision to put the stop where you want it after it fires. Okay, but I don't move my stop until I get some scalp at least. For instance, if you fired on this bar, let's say that you got filled at 32. This bar, let's let it flash again. There, well, I moved things. Okay, this bar it fired at say 26. So if you did two contracts, you'd be at 32 and 26. So what's the average between those two? It'd be 29, right? So you'd be basically average right in through here. Okay, that's the way you could do that. Now, if you did more than two, obviously your next candle would be here. So you would have fired at say 30, 30. So your average is going to be a little bit higher, right? Because that bar is a little bit higher. So, that's the whole key to it too, is when can I get my scalp? I've got an average. Let's just do it with the two so it makes sense, okay? So we got filled on one here at 32, or even say 31 possibly. Let's just say 32. And then we got filled at 26. So that's 6 ticks between them. So basically you're technically filled at 29. So when your average is 29 to get 8 ticks, you need to go to 37, right? Okay. So you don't want to go moving your stop all over the place until you at least get your scalp. Okay. So this just probably either delete around for a while, which they a lot of times do. See, you're back at cost again. You haven't got your 8, 9 ticks yet until you get to 37. Well, you may have gotten it here, actually, come to think of it. So you did get your 37. So 29 to 37 is 8 ticks. If you wanted 10 ticks, you need to get to 39, which is right there. That's 10 tick trade. Okay. So this trade went a max of uh, 12 ticks. Christopher, on your question, you're talking about down. Well, and that's another thing you want to do too, is when you get in a trade, be sure and check the fib level also to see where it is. For instance, this thrust to here, that doesn't even look like 38% to me. Let's see if it is. It's close. Don't you do that. That's close enough right there. That's not quite 38%. Okay. So this is simply a first time in the mid band after a trend change. Okay. And turned out to be quite a nice trade. We saw it obviously earlier. See, so you're in the trade and everything, and you did a great job on it. But you did it based on exactly the way I teach. You can get the breakout. Now keep in mind the breakout. Let me teach you that tonight also. Okay, I teach that in a lot of webinars, but just draw your lightning and you'll see it. See the lightning right through here? If you looked at this trade right here at the time, you have a line right here that's your identified swing, right? Then it goes down a little bit further, barely further. See, like that. Then this is your identified swing. See right there? So when they break that, you can go long, but you got to be careful doing it because they'll fake you, 9 times out of, well, say 7 times out of 10. That one turned out it didn't really fake you. It went on up, okay, and it broke the swing. And keep in mind that if we wanted to change the background according to the smaller swings, we could do that. This would be a red background, but that'd be a green one right there. You don't want that. We got our backgrounds really tuned in nicely. Okay. So, but that doesn't mean we can't take this trade way down here, because it did pop up and kiss it and took off, right? So you can do that. And I call those trades all the time in the room. Okay. But let's talk about that mid-band trade, because if you can get to the point where you can get 2 or 3 mid-band trades in the morning and look for the measured move, you're going to do quite well on your trading. For instance, that little trade right there. Well, where would the measured move be on this trade? Anybody? What do you think? Oh, I did that one. Just a second. Let me get rid of it. Doesn't like to get rid of that fib for some reason on replay. Let me see if I can get rid of it anyway. There we go. And I'll get rid of this one. That's auto fib. Okay. So where would be the measured move on this thrust retrace? Well, that's what, when you get into a mid-band type trade, always be sure to watch for your thrust, watch for your retrace, and then see if you can get that next thrust. Because if you can get mid-band trades like this, that go all the way up to like this 84.0910 area, then that's a monster trade. And that's what you really want to do. You want to get the leg one, leg two, leg three. Well, this did turn out to actually do that. See here, up this top right there. See, but it gave you several opportunities before it ever got there. Let me show you what I'm talking about. These mid-band trades are awesome. Okay, let's say you missed this one. Well, then you had a high, you had a low, you had a higher high. So is that a legitimate mid-band trade? Yes. Now look at this one here, a little bit more iffy, but it still is. See the high, the low, the higher high? See it taking out that high there? That's an identified swing. Notice that it did not take it out when it came down and kissed that area. See, it's a higher low. So yes, you can take another mid-band trade. See how that works? Where you want to stop taking mid-band trades is when they don't take out those tops from the previous one. Okay? But as long as this is actually stair stepping, and that's the key to it, mid-band trade, stair steps up, mid-band trade, stair steps up, mid-band trade, stair steps up. We got one more mid-band trade, don't we? So let's see what happened. You've got a swing right here. That's your identified swing, high, low, higher, high. And this comes down and does a mid-band trade right there. Okay? So is that a legitimate mid-band trade? Yes or no? Yes. I'll answer it for you. Charles used to give I'll give you 5 seconds to answer that. I like to listen to his webinars like that because it got kind of comical occasionally because he would go, 5 seconds, you got 3 seconds left. And then that 3 seconds would last for about a minute and a half. It was funny. Love the guy. All right. So here's your mid-band trade. Again, see your high, your low, your higher high, even here, higher low, higher high. That's a legitimate mid-band trade. If the high is not taken out and you get a lower identified high, but the mid-band is still green, are you interested in a short scalp? Not normally, Mike, but I'll show you where you can get it because we get these all the time. What you want to do is, well, let's just see what happened first. Okay, see, that's a legitimate mid-band trade. It got to the top. You want to start protecting coin. That's a lower high so far. Let's see what it does. That's a higher high, so you're okay. See on the trade? So you do have another mid-band trade. See, you got a high, a low, a higher high. So you're looking for one more mid-band trade. Let's see if it gets it. It comes down 2 ticks inside here and fires up. That's where you'd want the trade. See there? That's a legitimate mid-band trade, and that is a scalp, by the way. Now, if it doesn't take out this top, then is there another mid-band trade in the wings? There would not be. So let's see what happens. It kissed the top. That's kind of a double top. That'd start making me think, whoa, wait a minute. But let's see if the next bar goes up. Next bar went up, you're still okay. Put your stop right there. Now, keep in mind that you can clearly see if this gets a lower high, see your 34 and your 33, even though that's only 1 tick, this is your line in the sand long short. Now, you got to be careful taking it because that could be a fake and bounce off of a mid-band. But this is a high, this is a low, this is a lower high. If they start playing around with this, they could very well head down. See how that double topped, kiss and support, taking out support. Now, could you short that there? Yes. But keep in mind that if that next bar goes back up, I would probably put my stop literally right there if I shorted this because this is a green mid-band. But why don't we take another mid-band trade? Because it didn't take out the top. And double tops, as a rule, they're going to check the previous swing or come close to it. You see what I mean? Or even take it out. Because you're on your left side of your chart, you have a high, you have a low, you have a higher high, right? ABC type move, ABC. All right, so this is your longer term line in the sand, long short. Everybody sees that, right? Okay, but it doesn't mean you can't take this one. If you get a high, low, lower high, even a tick, it's still a lower high. then if this goes down like that, you can short that if you want to. But again, if I did that, I'd be real careful and put my stop right there and see what it is. And that's a scalp, it looks like. See there? Now, would I take this phantom, anybody? Probably not, simply because you didn't get a higher high on this move. Now, it is a legitimate phantom, by the way, okay? But you're already short, so why would you want to take a phantom trade, okay? So now train your mind to see this, because let's go on the chart and let's see what happens. Okay, now you're getting a red background. Your mid-band's still yellow, so you're looking for possibly a long trade, but it took out support over here on the left even, so I wouldn't be looking for that. And then let's see if it breaks at all. And stealth red too, big time red. As soon as that mid-band changes colors and stair steps, you'll be looking for shorts. You're looking for shorts. See it? Stair stepping mid-band right there. Okay? So now instead of looking for longs, you're looking for a short at mid-band. You want to draw your fib. Very important to draw your fib, because what you want to do is you want to get in like this type of a move like this. I don't like less than 50%, so I draw a line right there, like so, and I draw a line right here, like so, and I'd even draw a line at 76 simply because that's going to be like a phantom trade. So if I was laddering in this trade, I would sell one here, one here, and one here. What if it went against me? I'd get out quick. But let's see what it actually did. See if we can get a mid-band trade first off. That's your mid-band trade right there. See, it went 2 ticks in. Remember I said 2 ticks in. Bar rolled over. So that is a legitimate short. Okay. So try to get a scalp on it if you can. Let's see if it does. You're in at like 84.01 approximately. There's 95. That's about 6 ticks. That's going, it's still okay. Let's see if we can get it. No, maybe not. Yeah, that one would have stopped. Or keep in mind that your stop is way up here like that. Okay. So if you want to stay with this trade, you could do that, but keep in mind if that rolled over here and went back above that line, you scratched. You did not get 8 ticks. So if you scratched on that trade at 84.01, then you simply look for another trade. Okay. We're not looking for longs yet though, because we've got a stair stepping mid band to the downside. Okay. So let's see what it does. That's your 61, pretty close. That would be another trade, but I don't take a mid band trade when it doesn't take out the low. So I'm going to skip it and I'm going to go phantom only. Watch it be a missile instead. That little trade might have worked. Remember, mid-band trades, ratchet, it's very important. If you take one and they fake you, don't fall for the next one, unless you simply fire it and get out if it even comes back at your cost. Okay, so let's see if we get a phantom at all. Pretty sloppy. There's a phantom. See your background? Now this trade right here is called a phantom trade because the background changes. Okay, so let me show you how to get in this trade. We'll get rid of the lines. Now remember I said the mid-band trade is 2 ticks inside for a short and 2 ticks inside for a long, but your mid-band has to be the right color. Okay, this mid-band is this color, so you did try the first short. It did not work. You got stopped out at break even. You don't take another one simply because it didn't ratchet down, because you can always get another one if it ratchets. Okay, so if it doesn't ratchet, what do you think it's going to do? It'll probably do a phantom, and we'll take the phantom trade. So let's see if we can get a phantom trade. Now, phantom trade has to actually touch line 6 with this color background for a short and then roll over. Okay, so let's see what it did. Okay, that touched it, but it didn't roll over yet. Everybody see that? So you're still in a phantom background. You touched line 6, but the bar has to go downward. Oh, we don't even have any more data. Let's just play it then. Let's just play it. We're going to take a phantom short if it actually sets up for us, and it looks like it might. So we'll just do this. Now remember how the playback did last time? Let's pray it does right. All right, so I'm going to do a phantom short. Just simply turn on phantom short, and you could do one contract or you could do two at once. Now what I like to do a lot of times, especially this is a little bit more risky trade, I'll set my object trader to 2 max and then turn on the auto. That way, if it gets it, it'll get it one at a time. Okay, so let's see if we can get something at all. That's a phantom trade. There's your phantom trade. Now it won't fire another one unless it goes up higher and touches that line 6 again. Okay, which it might do. We'll see if it does. And keep in mind, you can move your target anytime. Always look to the left and trade to right. If I wanted this phantom trade to work out, I'd probably at least want down there. See the swing? Let's see if we can get another one at all. If it touches line 6 and rolls, it will. There's line 6. If it rolls the candle, it'll get another one. There's your other one. Okay, so you got 2 contracts in. We got our stop at line 8. Now, if we get hurt on this, we'd be 84.15 all the way 84.32. That's like 17 ticks, but that's a legitimate phantom trade, okay? Because it happened after a trend change, first time in, about 85% probability trade for you, okay? Keep in mind, if you go against these things, you won't make as much money as if you just simply watch for the first time in, and that's your best one. I'll even, let's see if we can get another one just for the fun of it. I changed that in the middle of the stream. Let's see if it actually does it. I don't remember if it does or not because I changed it after. No, it's just going to do the 2. The reason for that is because we had the max set when we were in the trade. So we're only in 2 contracts. So what I'd simply do now is move one of my targets, look to the left to trade the right. You got a big thrust down, huge thrust down. So if this did decide to break hard, it could actually do something like this. Now, it's not necessarily going to do it, but I always draw on my charts. That'd be somewhere down in this area. Whoops, sorry. Somewhere down in this area right here if it was decided to totally break. Okay. So now it's up to you to keep your stop and everything. Now notice I had some coin a little bit and now I'm only 10 bucks. Okay. Which doesn't mean a thing to me because I want to get in a trade for the gusto. What about this? Thrust, retrace, thrust. Well, let's draw that. And I'd at least put one of my targets there. See this initial thrust right here? Retrace right here and thrust. That's if we don't get taken out. Okay, so I'd put one of my targets right down here. And this other one, I'd let it just run for the gusto. Just get it out of the way. And then we'll see, we're down 110 bucks. Anybody ready to hit the button yet? Well, you don't want to do that because first time in does this, doesn't it? Second time in even does this. Third time in does this. If it ratchets, see how it takes out those tops each time? It ratchets up. What about if it ratchets down? Well, then we'll want to get the next trade that's what? Mid-band, right? Let me speed this up a little bit. I was actually up trading this morning. Okay, see now you're up about 10 bucks again, 30, negative 50. They just dilly-dally around a little bit, don't they? But we put our stop in. Now, if it breaks down below, I'm going to bring my stop in tighter because see, you've got an identified swing now. See there? Now you've got another identified swing. See it right there? So keeping in mind that that should hold that identified swing, and it did. It just wicked it. All right, so it looks like we're going to get our target. See there how that works? Now, let's say that you just missed this trade entirely. Okay, you walked away and you got some coffee and you didn't get this trade. Well, then guess what? You could simply turn on your mid-band trader and you'll get a mid-band trade before this is over. Just about guarantee you, because they'll usually do a mid-band trade at some time. Let's see if they do at all. We'll just do a mid-band short, and if it gets up, there it was. See, it just fired. And we'll fire, well, we can, yeah, fired total of 3. See there? That's a mid-band trade. Okay? That's the way you do this. And keep in mind that when you trade like this, you're going to find yourself getting some pretty good P&Ls, because as a rule, and we've watched this for years and years, and I'd put my stop literally right there. Swing, right? And if it takes it, it takes it. Who cares? There it did. It just took it. Okay? So now what's it doing? Well, that's actually like a little phantom trade. Could you box it? If it doesn't take out line 8, you could. Yeah, I missed it. That's okay. I was going to get it right there, but I didn't. But guess what you could also do? You're getting a rose-colored mid-band. Turn on your mid-band trader to the long side now and watch for the trade to actually set up in the opposite direction, because it will do it. I mean, you'll see this constantly happen. Matter of fact, I called this trade, remember, this morning? We actually got this trade when it broke 49 long. Remember it? Remember that one? But look at your mid-band trade. There's your mid-band trade. Boom. Monster, nice little trade setup. And turn it on again. Turn it on again. You know, there's just trade after trade that you can actually get on here. And keep in mind that if I set this target quite a bit higher, I'd even get higher than this. But there was another mid-band trade right there too. Remember this trade? I called this in the room this morning. This trade was called right here. I'm going to slow this down. I guess it's going like 150 times. Slow it down. I'll show you the trade. This was called in the room, and this is no bunk, okay? Because I believe in calling trades when I see them, and I do see them. So called the trade here. That mid-band trader took the trade on that bar. That was a beautiful trade. All right. It ratcheted up. Remember what we talked about, ratchet up, high, low, higher, high. So are you looking for another mid-band trade if it does that? Yes. See, and it did it again. Never took the low out. And remember this morning, I even said, hold this trade, even though we got in here, hold it, because we had our stop at the swing right across there, and it never got it. Now, that would have cost us if it would have, but guess what we would have done? If it would have broken here, we would have simply turned on our short mid-band trader. That's all you have to do. Okay? This is a great way to trade, everyone. Keep in mind that you can make serious, serious coin doing this, but you got to learn. It's all about the stair stepping. It's all about the thrust, the retrace, the thrust. Got to take out the previous tops on longs and previous, lows on the shorts. Otherwise, you don't take the next one. Let's see, what is the short, thick red line above price? You're talking about the stealth line, like this green line right here. Mike, on your question? Yes, that's the stealth line. Now, what this is this is actually, we designed the stealth so that it would break the line and go transparent. That's so that you can get into another trade, okay? This is simply a moving average that goes across, this is 4 range. That's a 20 swing strength moving average with a gap in it because the bars take the gaps out, okay? So when you see this start doing Well, matter of fact, right down here, see, this was your first indication that they could have been changing trends when they start getting these really nice stealth lines. But you don't know it's changing trends until it takes out the previous swing. So when I had the line drawn on the chart this morning, we had a line right across this area right here even, let's see, 43. And then keep in mind that when this started breaking, that was heading up, okay? And then I called this trade, beautiful trade. By the way, this trade, if you just stayed with it with your one contract and rode the wave, so to speak, every time it made a low, it made a higher high. See there, higher high. So is that another legitimate mid-band trade right there? Yep. And by the way, that one was also called in the room too. And that little trade also worked out. Remember the rule of thumb? 2 ticks inside the little shadow, that's 2 ticks. See that bar's halfway, it's half body, half wick. That's 2 ticks inside. So that bar will fire the little trader. And remember this morning, I had to prove it with the arrow instead, because not always because of a tick difference in your time and stuff like that, but this little trader will actually fire that right. Show mid-band trade. See the little arrow right there? That fired that trade on that bar right there. So this is absolutely just a beautiful, beautiful way to trade. I don't know of any other company out there that can literally guarantee you a good little trader that's going to make you money every day. And again, the key is the stair stepping. If they're not stair stepping, if they're not making, higher highs and higher lows, to give an example, you remember when I called this trade this morning in the room? And even though we got a nice phantom right here, and I called it out live, that's a phantom short. Remember, this is a line 6 to line 7 phantom short. But when was that trade called out? Drew a trend line, and it got a higher low. Remember that? And once it got that higher low and it took out this trend line, this was no longer heading down. This was heading the opposite direction because you were getting a higher low. And anytime they do that, they usually break up. Okay. What does everybody think about the assists so far? Now, again, keep in mind that you want to train your eye to watch for the trade, watch the swings. Once it starts stair stepping, then go for that trade. Okay. Let me show you real quick, and we still got about 17 minutes. Let me just take it off of market replay, and I'm going to go to the real connection here real quick. Bear with me. And I'm going to put it on ES even, and I want to see if you can see those trades before they happen. All right. Because I'm going to show you some trade setups that just happen over and over and over and over. Only during the room time too. I'm not going to cheat you on any other way. This was all during the room. All right. I'm going to pause the screen for just a second. All right, this is 8:35 in the morning. Okay. Yes, it clearly been breaking down. I even had a line drawn so a person could be short, but let's don't even concentrate on the short. This is 5 minutes after the open. Okay. So could you, when you see this happening right here, could you turn on your long mid-band trader? Say, wait a minute, that's a short mid-band. But what normally happens? They'll change directions. What about this one? Direction was down. Turn on your mid-band trader. It nailed that trade. Trends down. Turn on your long trader. And lo and behold, got a mid-band trade right there. See? So you can do this every day. I mean, every single day. Mid-band trade worked out. This is starting to break down right here. What do? Turn on your short trader, right? Let's see if you get a little short trade at all. There's your short trade setting up. There's your mid-band trade right there, and even a phantom. And there you go. You just got a scalp at least. See? And then look for the mid-band to go the other way again. Let's see if it does. That's by the way, that's mid-band short again. That's a little phantom short. That one probably would have stopped you out at break even. So now if you get stopped on one, go for the mid-band going the other way. There's your mid-band going the other way right there. So once that mid-band goes the other way, right now I can tell you where I put my stop on this trade and where it needs to hold. High, low, higher, high. Put your stop right across there, right? That's where you put your stop. I mean, if you think about it, you look at that chart, that's where you put your stop because that's the high, the low, and the higher high, right? So if you are ready for that trade when it sets up, could you just simply turn on the mid-band trader? So what do you think? It's 8:44 in the morning. You've got a decision to make. Now this is drill time. This is the time that I want everybody to see these trades, okay? So let's see if we can get a drill time and see if we can get something. What do you think? Well, this was also actually near that news too, wasn't it? So let's go over to another one. And remember 8:45 was the news, but let's just see if it actually broke down. This would be my long short line right here. Okay, let's see what it did. A nice little mid-band trade. Now this little trade would not fire with the trader, but see how it held that support right there? Okay, so let's look at see if we can get another type trade. Ratchet it up. I believe that missed it though. That's only one tick in, but that still fired nicely, by the way. Let's see if we get the other direction at all. Another mid-band trade. That's a little iffy, but it's going. Starts breaking down though. You've got a scalp on that one. That was it. Now let's turn on the mid-band trader short. Let's see what it gets. If it breaks down. There's your breakdown. There's your mid-band trade right there on that bar. And that would have stopped me on that one. That's a break even. That trade I also called. Remember, we boxed it in. Got a nice little scalp on it. Everybody see that? So you can get these trades like this literally just all morning long as far as that goes. You know, but the key to it again is the stair stepping mid-band. It's very, very, very important. Okay. So that's what I want everybody to take away from this today is that the stair stepping part of it is extremely important. Okay. Let's go into, let's see if we can get something that even stair steps better. Okay, we got a scalp here, but let's wait till the mid-band crooks again. So we'll see which way it decides to go. There's a phantom trade. Worked. See it? All right, let's see if we can get a mid-band stair step at all. Now, when it's sideways like that, you want the phantom, but you don't want mid-band trades. See the wrong color background. Still short so far. That was another phantom, by the way. Stair stepping mid-band, not yet. Now there's a stair step to the upside, right? So what kind of a trade are you looking for now? Anybody? What do you think? Well, you'd be looking for a long mid-band, wouldn't you? See, so this just goes over and over and over is what it really does. Let's just keep stair stepping and see. There's mid-band trade, see it? Perfect mid-band trade. Again, you just look for the change of trend, perfect mid-band trade. Now, do these go up forever? Not necessarily, but that's a perfect mid-band trade. And you've already taken some coin and you've got your stop in. See how that works? Yeah, it's just a beautiful way to trade. Around 848 with the blue mid-band still present. Let's see, 848. Well, the blue mid-band's right here. You're at what, 36 or 3,700 at that time. So this mid-band trade would definitely be a good trade right there. Now this is actually not even necessary today. All I did is pulled up a chart, but I do have real data on it, so it should be today. See, that's a perfect mid-band trade setup. And that's all we got to do. Flat line, phantom, phantom. Now, is this phantom legit phantom here? Not in my opinion, because it never took out the low. But I will still take this one as long as it doesn't go against me. What defined price breaking down, Mike? Well, the breakdown is the way our scripts are designed. Okay. So basically, you know, for instance, like right here, even what we're looking at, see that high, that low, that higher high? Well, this is your line in the sand, long short right now. If they decide to take that out, see another beautiful mid-band trade, by the way. See it? Mid-band trade, a little deeper, but it's still mid-band trade. Those are great trades. And what was the key to this one right here? It ratcheted up. You had a high, you had a low, you had a higher high, so you're looking for a mid-band trade. And I always like to look at my fibs. In the case like this, we may have never taken this trade, would look for this one anyway, because you want a fib on this short of a move of at least 50%. Let's see where it was. Oh, I hate that when it does that. See if I can lock it. There we go. All right. See there. Well, that was 50 though. So I would have taken that trade. It did bounce. But here's your 61 right there. See it? 61 is a lot better trade on that. And then you got another nice move. Okay. So the takeaway on all this, was this a legitimate mid-band trade after what I taught? Absolutely. See, so you're not going to take every mid-band trade, but you're going to take the ones that thrust and pull back. They've got to take out those previous swings, previous swing even here. You'll look at your little micro swings and you'll see they even take them out. Okay. And then that's 9 o'clock. There's another mid-band trade that worked. Possibly you might have gotten a scalp on that. All right. But look what this is doing right now. You've got a high, you have a low, you have a lower high. So if they start breaking this down, what do you think they might do? They might take it down instead. What do you think? They might absolutely take it down. So let's see if they do. Let's draw a box. And if they take that little one out that they faked on, we'll look for a quick short. Now, this is not a trade that the trader will take, but you can clearly see they're getting a high, low, lower high, and lower low. So that to me is a trend change if they break. We'll see if they do. Not yet. Not yet. So you're still fine on the box going long. But if they break it, you will take it. Okay, they ratchet it up a little bit. Not my cup of tea when they barely ratchet up like that right there. That's usually where they fake you. And we'll see if they go ahead and go. But this is your line in the sand long short right there. Now your line in the sand long short's right here. Everybody sees that, right? These are good mid-band trades if they ratchet up. Let's see if they get anything high, low. There's your line in the sand again. Trend changing, possibly. Turn on your mid-band trader. What do you think? To the downside? Let's see if it does or if it breaks up. Flatlining. No stair stepping mid-band yet. There's your stair stepping mid-band right there. Okay, so what kind of a trade are we looking for? Anybody? What says the team? What kind of a trade do you think will very possibly set up right there? A short, mid-band short, absolutely. Because what are you doing right now? You're stair stepping down. So if you're stair stepping down, what are you looking for? You're looking for a mid-band short. Okay. So what would you do? You turn on assist. You already know where your stop would be. So you have a high, low here, lower low. So they don't want to take this out if they want to head down. So let's see what they did. There's your mid-band trade, fire it off. And there's a scalp. See how easy that is? But always remember, if you're going to take these, stair stepping is very important. When it's flatlining like that, wrong color. Mid-band's wrong color. Doesn't mean you can't take a phantom, because that actually paid off on a phantom, but I wouldn't have touched it personally. But here's where your trade would fire, right there on that bar. Did this turn out to be a decent short? Stopped you out there though. See, it's getting a low, high, higher low. So you definitely be stopped out, but you got definitely about 20 ticks and it double bottom. Let's see what it does after that. Another mid-band short. See it right at my line. Mid-band short. Another mid-band short. See the bar fire off? Those are beautiful trades. So right here, without getting all this choppy stuff right here, once you start breaking, so you get a high, low, lower high, and lower low, you're going to be starting to look for more than likely shorts. Now, they may fake it. You don't have to take a trade until they change trends. And there they were right there. And those were called in the room this morning too. Those were little mid-band trades that I simply said, turn on mid-band trader. Remember, we were even long, had a long mid-band. I said, turn on your mid-band trader short and long, because it could have done this too, right? It could have stair stepped this way instead. So if you turn them both on, the short one fired. And a beautiful way to trade. And keep in mind that I'm going to call these trades in real time in the room so that we can all get them nicely like that. And it'll just be a beautiful way to trade every single day. Anybody have any questions on any of this? One thing I want new members, for instance, that are here today, be sure and learn the language, because mid-band trades, again, a short trade, you're always looking for this color mid-band or a red one. Red one's a little more iffy because that means it's a session low. So they're a little bit more iffy. But this is a downtrend line right here. And if it gets 2 ticks inside that little money band, remember the money band I talked about earlier? This is your money band right here. And as long as it stays below line 5 and comes down, it will fire every trade in there. But you can just simply set it for 1 or 2 or whatever you want. But that's a beautiful trade. That's a beautiful trade. It ratcheted down. That's a beautiful trade. You draw your line in the sand on your chart just in case they decide to go the other direction. Keep drawing it. That's another beautiful short trade, isn't it? Stop and be right across there. Another mid-band trade. Ratcheted down, didn't it? So are you looking for another mid-band trade? Yes. See what I mean? So this is the total key to it. If you get up in the morning and you see a flatlining mid-band, then you're looking for a phantom, but you're looking for whatever color the background changes to. Okay. But if it's stair stepping like this, you're looking for those mid-band trades and up to phantoms. They can go higher than that, obviously, but these mid-band trades are very calculated on our algorithms and everything to where this line draws. So they're very, very accurate. Okay, will they go forever? See, that took out your line in the sand long short. You got a nice trade. It ratcheted down. This is a true phantom, but it's breaking line 3. So could you just simply turn on your long mid-band trade and see if you could get one? I don't know if we got one, but let's see. So far, it's just a phantom mid-band. See it? You're short again under the line. Short again under the line. See it right there? And that's another beautiful mid-band trade. You'll just see them time and time and time again. Okay? Let's see if it did change at all at any time. That was monster nice short, by the way. Starting to stair step up a little bit. This is your line in the sand long short right there. See it? Low, high, lower, low. Phantom trade. You'll see that it will fire too. Red bars. Okay. That's your phantom trade. Getting a green background. What's the next trade that you're looking for? You're looking for a mid-band long, right? Now, this is getting closer to where I don't like to trade as much. I like to trade till about this time Really even right through here, truthfully, you know, somewhere around 9:15 in the morning my time. But let's see if we get a mid-band trade on this. You got a mid-band bounce, you got a phantom bounce, you got your line in the sand long short right across here and here. Let's see what they do. Perfect phantom, see it? Box it in, you got a trade here, you got a trade there. And if you don't see those, phantom long will fire on that bar, that bar, that bar, that bar, and that bar. And a beautiful trade. Isn't that unreal? I mean, you just can't beat this software, I don't think. And let's see if they change direction at all again. There's another mid-band trade, by the way. Ratchet it up. Another mid-band trade. Now, did it ratchet that time? Nope. Be careful. Changing trends again, so you're looking for a mid-band short. It's just really that easy. Stair-stepping mid-band, where would your stop be? Well, you've got a swing right across here. You're looking for a mid-band trade to the short side. That's your mid-band trade. Now you got resistance right across here. Let's see if they roll. There you go, mid-band trade. They just work. But the key to it's also not to hold them forever either, okay? Because what you want to do, if you get in this trade and you get your scalp, you know, and you've got nice coin on that trade, you don't have to let it go all the way back against you. If it does, see that one went down, so you're good. But sometimes they'll bounce off of like a sport and then take it back out, and you know you'll lose all your coin. Always take some coin. Ratchet it down, so you're looking for a mid-band trade again. There it was. See there? High, low, lower, low, mid-band trade. Okay? I think I've showed enough examples. What do you think? Let's trade it tomorrow. And by the way, just off of some of the trade calls in the room this morning, uh, one gentleman in the room did micros today and got a $1,000 bill. And that was pretty easy to do if you think about these trades that happened today in the room, because this is what we're looking for every day. Stair stepping mid-bands, stair stepping mid-band itself, the band, mid-band trade, ratchets down, mid-band trade. Did that one ratchet down? No, didn't take out the low. See there? So is this a legitimate mid-band trade again? If you take it, you'll literally take it at the line, and if it goes back against you at all, you're out. See, that's why I don't take that trade. So far, it's still okay though. It hadn't taken you out. It still worked. You're fine on it. It kind of checked it, but you can take those trades too. But always remember, if they don't ratchet, they're a lot more risky. Okay, let's see what it did if it ratcheted down at all. Another mid-band trade, by the way. It's still not ratcheting though. See, it's not taking out those lows. See why? See how that works? I mean, you can take this to the bank. Does that mean you couldn't have scalped that trade, scalp that trade, scalp that trade? Yes, but this one was telling you right here, when you got this one at mid-band, like so, when it doesn't take out this low right here, then be careful of mid-bands. Doesn't mean you can't scalp them, but don't think they're going to drop like a 70 ticks or something like that one did, because until they ratchet, they won't. Okay, but then they're sideways. You can take them, a little box, take it, but just remember that they can cost you money. They don't ratchet down. You want to be careful taking the next one. But if you box it and it doesn't go against you, it's fine with me. But then you change trends, and there's a mid-band trade. Okay, let's wrap it up. About 8 o'clock and 4 minutes. We're 4 minutes over. Watch for this type of trade. Turn on your little mid-band trader. If you don't trust it yet, do some micros. And if you want to do micros, you could even do more contracts. You know, for instance, if it fires like 1, 2, 3, 4, you'd be in 4 contracts. But see, that wouldn't have hardly gotten you anything if you average that all out. Okay, so I like to personally do 2 and then try to get 10, 12 ticks, something like that. Okay, did that little trade work on a mid band? Certainly did, didn't it? And what was the key to it? the stair stepping mid-band. Okay. So example after example worked. And by the way, these aren't, like fake charts or anything like that. This is the real thing that actually happens on a day-to-day basis. So we look for these trades. And keep in mind, if you can get just one of these things with a couple of contracts, that little trade right there is probably $800 right in that area. And a lot of people, that'd be enough for the day. What about that one? Well, it went up here to here. We don't know where it's going to go, but that's already, probably $200 at least. See, and it hit the line perfectly. And did that ratchet up? Nope. Didn't take out that high, did it? If you boxed it in, you put your stop right there. And see, that one never even fired because you boxed it and never went long. Okay? And then just watch for the trend change again. There's another trend taking out the highs. There's a little mid-band trade right there. Would have fired on that bar, I think. We'll see. And then I'll wrap it up. Should fire on that bar. Yeah, it does. Pretty good at knowing where these fire. Ratchet it up, mid-band trade. See, over and over and over. Okay? Ratchet it above the high, mid-band trade. Ratchet above the high, look for another one. But you're still in this one. So what if you missed all this that we've been talking about and you just took this one right here because you simply said, okay, Gary said, watch for ratchet. It ratcheted. I'm looking for a mid-band trade. Okay? All right, we will wrap now. Thanks everybody for coming. Hope you enjoyed it. I was going to show a little bit about the scripts, but just to let you know, just a little bit about the scripts, the multi-threading, when you reverse a trade, is different. Matter of fact, we did 14 trades in a row with the right click where we reversed 4 contracts, and 12 of them worked perfectly, and the 13th one didn't put the right amount of targets. No rhyme or reason to it. It's not in the code at all because, it's actually being told, hey, if I got 4 on and I reverse it, I've got 4 on the other direction, I'd have to put 8 the opposite, right? But, we can't take a chance that somebody will know how to do that, because if you don't have a target, you might go away from your computer seeing that a target's not hit and you'd still be in a trade. So we got to think about how we're going to do this. The simple way to do it would be where if you were looking for longs, you would only be able to right click for a long trade here. You could never put a short underneath it to flip it. Okay. We may go back to that because that was working perfectly, but kind of irritated me because I like to be able to actually, like let's say for instance, I get in 2 here and I want to take 1 off. If it comes down to line 2, maybe hold to line 1, then I would have still stayed in that trade. But I might not like to hold on to both of them, but you can still just hit market order too. I'm just trying to give you the best tools that you can possibly have. And we're getting it fairly complex. So even the programmer said, even playing around with Chart Trader, it will not fire the exact same way every time. If for instance, if you're long 4 and you put 8 short, it won't necessarily give you 4 short at that point. I've even had it do that to my live account and had to really quickly get out. So that's something to do with multi-threading or the way Ninja interprets going one way and then flipping and going the other. Okay. Now reverse will work perfectly like the stop. For instance, if I put like a stop right here and I wanted to reverse it, if it takes it out, could you do that? Yeah, I've got that built into the scripts already. Okay. Thanks everybody for coming. We're going to release something pretty soon now, because now that we've found out that there's going to be like 1 time out of 13 times that it doesn't do right, I may release it just as is, with letting everybody know that there's going to be an occasional time it's going to have the exact stop amount that's never deviated. It's going to have the exact entry that's never deviated with the total number of contracts, but occasionally it misses a target. Like you might be long only, say 3, but it'll have like 4 targets. But once it hits the 3, it'll go ahead and kill the trade anyway. but it's erroneous targets that are showing up. But like literally once in a blue moon, it's about to make us pull our hair out. But I'm going to play with it tomorrow with my live money and just see. I don't like to normally flip, but I'll flip at least occasionally to see if I can get like 5 or 6 ticks, just to make sure how it does with the live stuff. Okay. Thanks everybody for coming. Hope you enjoyed it. And again, keep in mind that you can make some serious coin in our trading room too, because when I was in that room this morning, some of these trades that were called were literal monsters. Remember that trade right there? That was a 100-tick trade, and that was a perfect mid-band trade. Okay? Thanks everybody for coming. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the morning. Adios. Did I miss any questions? I apologize if I did. If I did miss any, just hit me up in the morning. Okay? All right. Thanks again. Good night. I'll make sure those links always go out. I apologize for those. I had sworn they went out. But what I did is I actually had it set for 3 p.m. yesterday, like I always do. But I knew we weren't going to be home at 3 p.m., so I set it for 4, and it must have flipped it to the next day. So it would have gone out today, but I did go ahead and send it out today too, and I'll watch that. All right, see you in the morning.